Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at really quite an unexpected moment from the NFL preseason.
Yeah, one that really went beyond just the game itself.
Exactly. It caught everyone off guard. We've dug into the ESPN reports and other sources to try and understand, the full picture of what happened.
And what it all means.
Right. So our focus for this deep dive is a recent injury involving Detroit Lions safety Maurice Norris. We'll walk through the events on the field, what happened right after, and then kind of zoom out.
Look at the bigger picture.
Yeah, the implications for player safety, and honestly, just the human side of pro sports that sometimes gets overlooked.
It was a moment that really highlighted that.
It really did.
Yeah.
So get ready for a story that I think put things into perspective for a lot of people. Okay, let's set the scene for you. It was Friday night, August 8th, 2025.
Right, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta.
Lions versus Falcons, preseason game. And our attention is on Maurice Norris, safety for the Lions.
He's young, 24 years old, undrafted guy from Fresno State.
Appeared in a couple of games last season, spent time on the practice squad, working his way up.
Definitely.
So it's late in the game, almost 15 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Norris goes in for a tackle on Atlanta rookie Nathan Carter.
And the reports detail a pretty specific and rough hit.
Yeah, Norris's face mask hits Carter's midsection, and you see his head just snap back violently.
Oof. Yeah, those are always scary moments.
Instantly scary. And the response on the field, that's where things really shifted, didn't it?
Absolutely. What's immediately striking, I think, is how dramatic that response was. Medical staff rush out.
Yeah.
They're attending to Norris for 20 minutes. Right there on the field, which feels like an eternity in those situations.
It really does. And while that's happening, you see this incredible moment of unity.
That was something else. Players from both teams. Rivals,
Yeah, just moments before battling each other.
And they're joining hands, taking a knee, praying for him together.
Wow.
Then the ambulance actually drives onto the field.
Right onto the turf.
Yeah. And they carefully load Norris onto a stretcher, take him off to Grady Memorial Hospital in Atlanta.
The initial word from the Lions, thankfully, offered some hope.
Which everyone was desperate for at that point.
Totally. They said he was stable and, crucially, had feeling and movement in all his extremities.
That's the key phrase you listen for.
Exactly. He stayed in the hospital overnight just for observation.
Standard procedure in these cases, but still nerve-wracking.
For sure. And maybe the biggest sigh of relief came from Norris himself the next morning.
Oh yeah, his Instagram story.
Yeah, just posted, "I'm all good, man. Don't stress it. Appreciate all the check-ins and love."
Simple, direct, but incredibly reassuring after what everyone witnessed.
Absolutely. So, given how tense that was, how long everything took,
Yeah.
what happened with the game? Did they just pick up where they left off?
Well, that's the interesting part. For a very brief moment, play did technically resume.
Really? After all that?
Yeah, it sounds strange, but the Falcons quarterback, Emory Jones, took a snap. He just held the ball. Players from both teams were just kind of standing there at the line. The clock was running down. It was awkward. Frozen, almost.
I can only imagine. But that didn't last long.
No, not at all. With about 6.5 minutes left, an official announced the game was suspended.
Suspended per New York was the phrasing, right? Lions were up 17-10.
Correct. Which immediately brings up the question, who made that final call and why?
Exactly. Was it the league? The refs?
Well, it turns out, according to Lions coach Dan Campbell, it was actually a decision made between the coaches.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Campbell confirmed it, and he specifically praised the Falcons coach, Raheem Morris, called him the ultimate class act.
Okay.
Campbell said they both just looked at the situation after seeing Norris carted off like that, and they agreed.
It just didn't feel right.
Exactly, Campbell's words. It just didn't feel right to finish that game.
Wow. And you really get a sense of that feeling, that weight from the players too.
Oh, definitely.
Lions QB Kyle Allen said, it was obvious right away how serious it looked.
You see the stretchers come out.
Yeah, he said, "It's never good when they bring out the stretchers. We just started praying for him."
Hoping for the best.
Hoping for the best. When it's taking that long with that many people,
Yeah.
you're just hoping.
And Allen's feelings seems to have been pretty universal on both sides.
When I said, flat out, I don't think anyone on that sideline wanted to play.
Right. And that was echoed by the Falcons players, too. Casey Washington, their wide receiver, put it very simply.
What do you say?
He just said, that's somebody's life, and that's bigger than football.
That really cuts through it all, doesn't it?
It does. And that shared feeling, across the teams seems to be what really drove that decision to stop.
It really does highlight something quite remarkable, that sense of brotherhood that just emerged.
From a really frightening situation.
Yeah. Opposing players praying together for another athlete.
Coach Campbell talked about that too. He called the injury itself an eye-opener. He said it hits a little different, it puts things in perspective. But then he mentioned the silver lining.
Which was it?
Brotherhood. He said, to see all those guys from that team, our team kind of come together, everybody's thinking about another player, just means a lot.
It brings that human element right to the surface, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And adding to that, Norris's mom, Francina Pleasant, she was with him at the hospital.
Right, a reminder that behind the helmets and pads, these are people with families deeply affected.
Exactly. It underscores the real-life impact behind the spectacle.
It's just a really powerful reminder of the humanity at the core of these incredibly intense physical contests. But as impactful as this was, it feels like we've seen situations, maybe not identical, but similar, pop up more recently, right?
You're absolutely right. This isn't happening in a vacuum. If you connect it to the broader conversation around player safety in the NFL, you definitely see a pattern emerging. Just think back to August 2023. 2 preseason games, stopped early, back-to-back weeks because of injuries.
Wow, I remember that now.
First, it was the Patriots cornerback, Isaiah Bolden, carted off after a collision with a teammate against Green Bay.
But he was okay fairly quickly.
Yeah, thankfully. Released from the hospital the next day, but still, the game was stopped.
And the second one?
A week later, Miami versus Jacksonville, Dolphins receiver David Davis carted off after a hit. Game wasn't completed.
And he was also released the next day.
He was, yes. Again, thankfully.
And then, of course, the one that I think is seared into many people's minds, Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, January 2023. Regular season game. Buffalo Bills safety.
Goes into cardiac arrest on the field. Had to be resuscitated right there.
An absolutely terrifying moment, but incredibly, he recovered.
And not just recovered, he played the next season. Started for the Bills last year. It's an amazing story.
Truly remarkable. But all these incidents, from Hamlin's life or death situation to these more recent preseason stoppages,
they paint a picture, don't they?
They absolutely do. They show, I think, a growing awareness and maybe more importantly, a growing willingness within the sport.
To hit pause?
Exactly. To hit pause, take a breath, and prioritize the player's well-being over finishing the game no matter what.
So these repeated moments, these very visible, serious injuries, and the game stoppages that follow.
Yeah.
What does that tell us about where things are heading with player safety and how the league is responding?
Well, it suggests a significant shift, I think. An evolution in how safety and maybe the fundamental humanity of the players is being valued in real-time, high-pressure moments.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, the key takeaways seem pretty clear. We saw this profound moment of human empathy just take over a competitive football game.
Yeah, the well-being of one player instantly became more important than the scoreboard.
And that joint decision by the coaches, backed by the players, to suspend the game, it really speaks volumes.
It reflects, I think, a growing commitment to player safety, a commitment that's been tested, tragically sometimes, but also reinforced by these recent incidents.
So why should this deep dive matter to you listening? Well, it's really more than just football, isn't it?
Much more.
It's a powerful example of how, collective empathy, that shared feeling, can actually override intense competition.
And how maybe institutions and just people are learning to respond better to basic human needs, even when the stakes are incredibly high.
Yeah, even in the middle of an NFL game.
So maybe here's something to think about. In a world that's often dominated by competition, by performance metrics, where else? What other areas of life, maybe your work, your community, could really benefit from a similar moment? That collective pause, that recognition of shared humanity when, unexpected challenges pop up.
That's a really interesting thought to leave people with. When is it time to say, okay, this is bigger than the task at hand?
Exactly, something to mull over.